Hello BookTube, this is a look at my manga collection. I have a lot of manga and this might take a while. I'm doing this video now because I'm thinking, and I'm actually in the process of moving where I've had my manga. So for a few months now, I've had my manga on this bookcase here, the wall shelf above it, and some shelves over here. But I haven't really liked how it looked, particularly on the wall shelves. So I've been thinking about moving my manga to this bookcase here and basically what is currently the history wall. I'll explain a bit more about this later this evening with weekly reads. Once because I will have a few hours of the new setup to decide whether or not I'll like it. I'm going to give myself like about a week to decide, and then I may end up having to put everybody back. But anyway, so I'm going to go through these by series. Once I get to the series that I have volumes that I just hauled in my book haul, I'll kind of like reorganize those books so I can get them in. And then I'll rush over and put them on the bookcase. Hopefully I will not be as rushed in this video as I was with my book haul. I had a package out that came in just as I was wrapping it up. So hopefully I'll be a bit more relaxed because this might take a while. So anyway, let's get started with, and I'm also going to be moving about a bit. Although I don't know if I will try to continue talking because I don't know if or how well the microphone will pick me up if the computer's over here and I'm over there. We'll see. Let me know in the comments. But anyway, so first I'm going to start with Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle by Clamp. So Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle is Clamp's big crossover series. It incorporates a number of or variations on characters that had previously appeared in a number of Clamp's earlier work. The main character is Seiorin, who was one of the main characters of Cardcaptor Sakura. Seiorin is a young archaeologist in love with Princess Sakura, who herself was the main protagonist of Cardcaptor Sakura. An evil wizard named I'm blanking on his name. But there's an evil wizard who basically wants to dominate reality. And he strikes out at Sakura because variations of her oppose him. And Seiorin and Sakura are sent to the real world, which then crosses over with Holic, Clamp's series that ran concurrently, which I've never read, which I really want to. I need to make a point of trying to reignite my goal of collecting a good chunk of Clamp's work. And he is joined, and Seiorin and Sakura are joined by, she's comatose, by Fadi Flowrite and Kuragane. Faye is a wizard. Kuragane is a samurai or ninja who's a bit more of a samurai. The evil wizard's name is Fei Wong Reed. And so basically, Seiorin, Faye, Kuragane, and Sakura, along with Makona, travel to various realities seeking Sakura's feathers so that she can be restored. And it's an amazing series. It's been a little over a year since I read all of it. This was the first series that I fully collected. So I have volumes 2, 3. Oh, we want to do this backwards so that it would be easier to 4. I actually have a double of 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Love that cover. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's a nice cover too. 17. I'm going to, oh yeah, that's a nice cover too. I'm going to go run and put these up real quick because these are going to be the top batch. And then I'll be back to finish the rest of the series. So this might take me 2 trips. Excuse me. So the next part of the series, I could have organized this a bit better. Okay, I'll just reach over. So volume 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, and I have 3 omnibus editions. Volume 8, volume 9, and the final volume, volume 10. So the thing about Sebastian Reservoir Chronicle is it came out in the early 2000s, and I'm assuming Kodansha, who took over the U.S. releases for manga series published by Kodansha in Japan, I don't know necessarily if they've kept the series in print. And so, well, I had an easy time finding quite a few volumes, although some of them are ex-library copies. The final volumes, I had some difficulty, and I struggled to decide whether I wanted to just continue with the individual tankobon or the individual volumes, or pick them up in like the final volumes in these omnibus editions. And I decided to do the omnibuses, and I think I'm not going to try to go back and just finish off the series via the individual volume. So I'm happy with this, even if it does look a bit weird. So now I'm going to go put these up and then start on the next series. Okay, that is. I did not anticipate that. Huh. I'll figure out what to do with that here in a bit. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So, next up is Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. So, this is one of the great manga series that came out in the early 2000s. It's about two brothers, Edward and Alphonse Ulrich. They are prodigy alchemists. And one day they perform human transmutation, a forbidden alchemical transmutation, um, in an attempt to resurrect their deceased mother. The transmutation fails, and Edward loses a leg. Alphonse loses his body, and to save Alphonse's life, Edward sacrifices his arm to transcribe Alphonse's soul onto a suit of armor. Years later, and with automel prosthetics, Edward takes an exam to become a state alchemist, being given the name Full Metal Alchemist. Edward and Alphonse then travel around the country of Amestris looking for the Philosopher's Stone, alchemical relic reputed to be able to bypass the laws of equivalent exchange. As the brothers travel, they uncover the horrible truth of the Philosopher's Stone, as well as an old conspiracy that runs to the very heart of Amestris, and a conspiracy that sees both brothers as well as a number of their allies as important ingredients for their promised day. This series is phenomenal. I love it. I've read the whole series several times, and I'm planning on doing a reread again either sometime next month or in September. So I have, of course, this is volume 1. I also have volume, of course, I have the whole series. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll notice some of these RX library copies. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this is. Sometimes the RX library copies make this a little difficult. 12, 13, 14, and the amazing volume 15. So I've been thinking about like some of the X library copies, as well as there's one copy I have that's a bit damaged. I'm thinking about maybe going back through and recollecting those volumes. I don't know necessarily if I would want to keep these volumes as well as the more recent release, because there's to celebrate its 20th anniversary, there was a like re-release of the series in a nice hardcover edition. So I don't know if I would want to try that out or not. I'll think about it. But anyway, let me go put these up and then start on the next volumes of the series.
Hello, this is a pre-recorded message from Walmart Pharmacy. To continue, press 1 now. You have a prescription ready now at the 600 Hewitt Drive store. The total price will be $0. Our pharmacy will be open today from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Sorry about that. You never know when that could be an emergency. Okay, where was I? Full Metal Alchemist. So this is volume 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Let me go put these up, and I'll be back with the next batch. Whatever two that's decided on next. Okay, I think I'm going to do My Hero, not My Hero Academia, the Seven Deadly Sins. So let's get these guys over, and I think they're at the bottom. Yes. Okay. So, The Seven Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki. This is a series inspired by the Arthurian legends. It's about a young princess named Elizabeth, whose father, the King of Leonis, has been overthrown by the Holy Knights, an order of superpowered knights who have imposed a tyrannical regime on the kingdom. Elizabeth goes in search of the Seven Deadly Sins, an order of superhuman knights who 10 years previously were accused of assassinating the then head of the Holy Knights, as well as trying to overthrow the kingdom. Elizabeth finds Melodius, the former leader of the Seven Deadly Sins, and together they go in search of the other six, and with the goal of defeating the Holy Knights and restoring Elizabeth's father to his throne. Once that's accomplished, they have to deal with an invasion of demons. One of the leaders of both of the leaders of the Holy Knights who had overthrown the kingdom were attempting to resurrect or release the demon race, and that plan is ultimately successful, and the bulk of the rest of the series deals with that. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't completely finished the series yet. I'm a little more than halfway through. So this is volume 1. This is volume 2. Volume 3. Volume 4. Volume 5. Volume 6. Volume 7. Volume 8. Volume 9. Volume 10. Well, I'm actually a little more than halfway. So I've got about, I don't quite remember, I'll think about it here in a second. I've got 28 volumes. Anyway, so you're not supposed to be doing that. Yeah. Okay, let's move. Okay, volume 11. 12. 13. 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. We'll put these up and then I'll do the next 5 minutes. This is 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. So I haven't read these yet. So let's go put them up and then I'll the next series is going to be. Okay. Somewhere in the 30s instead of 4, that's going to get. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, instead of continuing with the really big series, I'm going to do some smaller ones that I can do down there. Okay, so this is A Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto. I only have 1 volume of this. I also have only 1 volume of Moriarty the Patriot by Ryosuke Takuchi and Hikaru Miyoshi, inspired by the work of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So this is a series that takes the Sherlock Holmes stories and has Professor Moriarty as the main character. And I enjoyed this first volume, but I really need to get back to it. I also have the first volume of One Punch Man by One and Yusuke Murata. So this is another superhero series about a former salaryman who can basically defeat anybody with just 1 punch. I really need to get back on this series. I'm going to leave you for Shinobu Otaka. Okay, so this is Kaiju number 8 by Naoya Matsumoto. This is volume. So this is a series about kaiju who are attacking Japan. Young man Kafka is basically he's part of a cleanup crew who is injured during a cleanup and is merged with a miniature kaiju, and this allows him to take on a kaiju-like form. And using this, he and a colleague join the Japanese Self-Defense Forces specialized kaiju unit. And so I've got the volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. I really need to have another go at this series. Hopefully in the next little bit. Anyway, and I also have 4 volumes of Nabari no O by Yuki Kamatani. So Nabari no O is a series that is set in contemporary Japan. It's about contemporary ninjas. Miharu Rokujo is a young man who possesses the Shinra Bansho, a forbidden technique that can rewrite reality. He is pursued by a number of ninja factions, most notably the Kairoshu, and he is protected by the Benton clan, who are basically all reduced to a ninja club at Miharu's school. Anyway, so I have volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I hope to get more soon, but Nabrino seems to be rather difficult to find. So I'm going to put these up, and then I guess get work on Fairy Tale. Okay, so you 4 can go up there for now. Page number 8. There might be enough for one more. Okay. I guess before I forget, this is Orient Volume 1 by Shinobu Otaka. This is her current series. It's set in the Sengoku period of Japan, in which demons have invaded, and it's up to a select group of warriors to try to fight them back. I only have the first volume, but I'll be getting a few more in my next book haul, because I ordered like a few volumes. There. Okay, so next is going to be Fairy Tale. This is going to be a while, because I've got a ton of Fairy Tale. Okay. Excuse me, I need to take this. My sister-in-law is going nuts. Anyway, where was I? So this is Fairy Tale Volume 1 by Hiro Mishima. So Fairy Tale is my favorite manga series. It's about a guild of wizards called Fairy Tale that are infamous for being incredibly destructive. And no member of Fairy Tale is as destructive as Natsu Dragneel, the Fire Dragon Slayer. Natsu, alongside his Exceed companion Happy, are searching for Natsu's foster father, the dragon Igneel, when they run across a young celestial spirit wizard named Lucy Heartfilia. Natsu invites Lucy to join Fairy Tale, and together the trio, including Happy, form the nucleus of the team that the series primarily focuses on, which also includes Grateful Buster, an Ice Make wizard, and Ursa Scarlet, the strongest wizard in Fairy Tale, or the strongest female wizard in Fairy Tale. Later additions include Wendy Marvel, Sky Dragon Slayer, and her Exceed companion Carla, and other members of the guild as needed. So the series is largely a series of adventures that eventually give rise to an epic storyline as the dragon Aknologia seeks to become the strongest being in reality, and the dark wizard Zareth tries to end his immortal life. And it's just an amazing series. I read the whole series this past January and loved it, and I am looking forward to rereading it again. I might make it a yearly tradition, I think. So this is volume 1. This is volume 2. Volume 3. Volume 4. Volume 5. Volume 6. Volume 7. Volume 8. Volume 9. Volume 10. Volume 11. Volume 12. Volume 13. Volume 14. Volume 15. Volume 16, Volume 17, and Volume 18. I'm going to put these up, and then I will be back for Volumes 19 through 33. Okay, so this is Volume 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Okay, let's move magic over so I can get at volumes 34 through 46. This is volume 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, excuse me, 45, and 46. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Bring you guys over. So volumes 47 through 63 are being a bit of a pain right now. So this is 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, I love that cover, 60, 61, 62, and 63, which wraps up the series. Okay. Next, I'm going to focus on Hiro Mishima's current series. Assuming nobody falls. There goes 12 out Hanako-kun. So, Hiro Mishima's current series is Eden Zero, which is a science fantasy series about a young man named Shiki who was raised on a planet of androids. One day, a young woman named Rebecca comes with her Exceed companion Happy to film videos for her BCube channel. The androids appear to malfunction, and Shiki rescues Rebecca and Happy, and together they go on adventures seeking the cosmic goddess figure, Mother. Shiki is granted the Eden Zero starship, and he and Rebecca gradually build a crew. Shiki's adoptive grandfather, Ziggy, appears to have been resurrected with an anti-human agenda, and Shiki, Rebecca, and the crew go to try to stop him. This is a wonderful series that I'm loving, and I cannot wait for volume 23 to come out, which I should be getting hopefully sometime next week. So this is volume 2. Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, and I'm going to go and put these up and then come back to get volumes 11 through 22. Put up in a second. Okay, so this is volume 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Next up will be My Hero Academia. Not My Hero Academia, Magic About the Magic. He does, and he does. Okay. Oh, this video is going to be a long one. So, Magic 11th Magic by Shinobu Otaka is a series inspired by The 1001 Nights. It's about a young wizard, a young magi named Aladdin who travels the world searching for friends. He finds one in Alibaba, a cart driver who is more than he appears. Together, they go and conquer a dungeon, a mysterious building that is one of a number that have appeared over the years, and it grants untold riches and other artifacts. They are joined by Margiana, and together they go on adventures. I'm loving this series, and I'll talk a lot more about this later in weekly reads. Now that's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, Volume 11, Volume 12, and Volume 13. We go put these up and then continue on. Volume 14, Volume 15, Volume 16, Volume 17, Volume 18, Volume 19, Volume 20. I do not have Volumes 21 and 22. I just got in, well, over the past month, 23, 24, 25. I do not have volumes 26 and 27. This is 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. No, this is volume 32. This is volume 33. 34, 35, 36, and 37. Let me go put these up. And then we'll start on the next series. I think next will be Toloba and Hanako-kun. by Ida Iro. Okay, so About Hanako-kun by Ida Iro is a series set in contemporary Japan. It's about an incredibly haunted school. One day, Nene, a student, goes or is told that if she goes to a specific toilet stall, she will be able to, and performs a set ritual, she will be able to summon the spirit known as the toilet bound Hanako-san. She does. The spirit is actually that of a young boy, Amane, and he grants her a wish. It goes horribly, and in exchange for getting her out of it, Nene becomes Amane's assistant, and his duties regulating the relationships between the living and the supernatural at the school. They are joined by a trainee exorcist named Ko, and together they go on adventures, regulating the relationships between the living and the supernatural at the school. So I love this series, and yeah, so this is volume 0, which is a pilot chapter and pilot for a different manga. This is volume 1. This is volume 2. This is volume 3. This is volume 4. This is volume 5. This is volume 6. This is volume 7. This is volume 8. Volume 9. Volume 10. Volume 11. Volume 12. Volume 13. Volume 14. Volume 15. Volume 16. And volume 17. And I cannot wait to get to volume 18 sometime next month. Okay, I'm gonna put these up and okay. Now I wish I had an ability to edit, because this is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. So this is a superhero inspired manga series about a young man named Izuku Midoriya who is born quirkless. He has no superpowers. But he idolizes superheroes. So one day one of his classmates, Katsuko Bakugo, is attacked by a villain. And Izuku, despite having no superpowers, tries to rescue him. This action inspires All Might, the greatest hero in Japan, to not only push his boundaries in rescuing Bakugo from the slime monster, but also to grant Izuku his quirk, all for one. No, one for all. It's one for all. And this allows Izuku to enroll in UA, the premier high school for prospective superheroes. And Izuku gradually learns how to become a superhero. He becomes the hero Deku, and he goes on a number of adventures as the decline in All Might's abilities leads to the villains to make a resurgence. I'm loving this series, and I can't wait to get to more. So this is volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go put these up and then come back for some more. $11, $12, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19. $20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. $30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, I think I'll do Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay, so Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Ukutami is a contemporary manga series about a young man named Yuji Itadori who is a member of his school's occult club. They find a rotten finger, a cursed object, belonging to an evil wizard named Sukuna. This cursed object attracts the attention of a cursed spirit, a monster given form by negative human emotions and experiences. A young Jujutsu sorcerer named Megumi engages the cursed spirit. Yuji helps him by ingesting Sukuna's cursed finger, and this allows Sukuna to temporarily possess Yuji. Megumi's teacher Gojo intervenes, subdues the Sukuna-possessed Yuji, and takes Yuji back to Jujutsu Society headquarters, where Yuji is to be executed. But Gojo argues that it would make more sense to allow Yuji to consume the other rotten fingers of Sukuna and then kill him after Sukuna is safely contained in Yuji. So, as part of his reprieve, Yuji joins the Tokyo branch of Jujutsu High, and he works on developing his powers, his skills to help people. This is an awesome series. So, Volume 0 is a prequel to the main series. This is Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, and I'll be back with the others in a few. Volume 11, Volume 12, Volume 13, Volume 14, Volume 15, Volume 16, Volume 17, Volume 18, and Volume 19. Okay. So, next up, I'm going to do Demon Slayer. So, Demon Slayer by Koyoharu Gotage is about a young man named Tanjiro whose sister was attacked by demons and has been infected, and so he goes to try to train to become a Demon Slayer. This is Volume 1. This is Volume 2. This is Volume 3. This is Volume 4. This is Volume 5. And this is Volume 6. Next, I have two omnibus editions of One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Volumes 1, 2, and 3 are in this one. So One Piece is one of the great manga series of all time. It's about a young man named Luffy who dreams of becoming king of the pirates. And this is the second omnibus. It's 4, 5, and 6. Next up, I have 12 volumes of Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto. Again, this is one of the most popular manga series of them all. It's about a young man from the village of Konohagakure called Naruto Uzumaki who dreams of becoming Hokage. He is the town pariah, the town troublemaker. And one day he learns that he is the container of the nine-tailed demon fox, a monster that attacked his village when he was born. Naruto eventually becomes an apprentice ninja Jinin under the famed Kakashi Hatake alongside Sakura Haruno and Sasuke Uchiha. So this is Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, Volume 11, and Volume 12. Okay. This is the all-in-one edition of Death Note by Sugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata. So Death Note is one of the great manga series. It's about a young man named Light who discovers a notebook left by Shinigami and decides he wants to purge the world of evil, as he defines it. This is Volume 1 of Demons of the Shadow Realm by Hiromu Arakawa, her latest series. It's about twins who are prophesied to change the world, and one twin's journey to figure out what happened to his sister. Bleach, Volume 1 by Tite Kubo. This is one of the great manga series. It's about a young man named Ichigo Kurosaki who becomes a Soul Reaper, a Shinigami. I have got to get more volumes of that. This is Volume 1 of Hell's Paradise by Yuji Kaku. This is Volume 1 of Yu Yu Hakusho by Yoshihiro Togashi. I really have got to get more volumes of this. Then I have 2 volumes of Noragami Stray God by Adachi Toka. There's 1 and 2. I also have Volume 1 of Pluto by Naoki Urasawa and Osamu Tezuka. The first omnibus of Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui, which I really have got to have another go at, even though I built on it twice. And finally, Dick Fight Island, Volume 1 by Reiben Iki. So that was my manga collection. This is going to be a monster to upload, but anyway, BookTube, I will be back in a few hours with weekly reading. So until then, thank you. I am so sorry this took so long. Hopefully you stuck around. But anyway, BookTube, until I see you next time, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.